Lauren Haynes reporting for WDEF News. I'm here with Chris Tkaczyk, who is the media spokesperson for the UFC.
Hey, how you doing today?
So Chris, tell us a little bit about the evolution of MMA as a sport.
Well, MMA as a sport, we started this company with our parent company Zuffa back in the early 90s and late 80s, and it has evolved into a multi-million-dollar company. We now currently have we currently broadcast 22 languages on our pay-per-view events, and it's evolved from a small organization basically to a overnight success as far as businesses go.
Why did you guys decide to focus on this particular sport?
Well, it started off as any man could go against any other man, and it basically started off as the different fighters wanted to see who was the best. So you'd have a guy that did Kung Fu, and then you'd have a guy that was a Muay Thai guy, and they'd go in there and fight regardless of their weight or size or stature, and there was basically no rules in the beginning. And it's evolved, to answer your question before, it's evolved into this, now we have a lot more rules, and it's a certified worldwide phenomenon, really.
So different people do different kinds of fighting within the same match.
Correct.
Is that correct? Are there any limits on what is off limits? Is there anything that's off limits?
Well, you can't poke in the eyes. Small joint manipulations is off limits. You cannot hit in the groin area. You cannot You cannot kick a down opponent when his knee is on the mat. You can't kick him in the head. You cannot do north to south elbows. Other than that, there's a few other ones, but that's pretty much the basic rules.
So where all are the UFC events happening?
The UFC events, we have UFC events all around the world. We have them in England, we have them in Germany, we have them all over the United States. We've just had our first one in Canada, in Toronto. We have them in New York. All venues are opening up all around the world for us, and we're looking to go to Asia. We're very excited about that.
That's great. How can people watch the matches if they can't come to them?
Well, like I said earlier, we broadcast in 22 different languages all around the world through our pay-per-view events, and you can purchase that online or through your basic cable package.
You guys recently partnered with Spike TV. How did that come about, and what does that mean for you guys?
Well, so that's an interesting opportunity that they gave us. They wanted to do something along the lines of a martial arts program, so they came to us, and it's basically what it is young up-and-coming fighters. They get in a house. It's a reality TV show, and it's called The Ultimate Fighter, and what they do is they fight each other in the house, and they have competitions with the coaches, two prominent coaches that are already practitioners of the sport. We've had former champions, and whoever they're fighting for a UFC $1 million contract, and at the end of the show, they get a contract with the UFC for $1 million contract.
Wow. Do you guys do any charity work?
Any charity work?
Are you involved with that?
Actually, yes, they do. We have a UFC fighter, Brian Stan, and he's involved with a lot of veteran associations. We support our military and our troops, and we love our fans. Our fans are the only reason we're here, and we support our troops a lot. We do a lot of funding with Veterans Affairs.
Do you guys have any outreach to children? Do you think it's important to teach children what MMA is, as opposed to just being seen as a violent entertainment sport?
I definitely think the education of mixed martial arts is coming around. A lot of people still see it as a blood and guts, no rules, no holds bar. Well, our time is closing, and the last thing I do want to say about mixed martial arts is that there's never been any deaths or serious injuries occurred. It's actually safer than boxing, because in boxing, if a guy gets knocked down or knocked out, he gets a 10 count. So he basically gets a concussion and then gets to get his wits about him and continue the fight. In mixed martial arts, we have the best referees. If a guy is unintelligent fighting himself, if he can't defend himself, then they stop the match. Thank you very much for your time.
All right, it's a safe sport. That's Chris Tkaczyk. Thank you very much.